Here's a look at your daily market report on this Tuesday, the 14th day of October. Working on day 8 of the rally of the CME feeder cattle futures, and boy, they don't show any signs of letting up yet. It is the third week of the month, and typically we would be talking about the monthly cattle and feed report. However, that report, along with several others, not going to take place this week due to the federal government shutdown. This would have been one of the quarterly reports, so it would have given us a breakdown of the steer heifer numbers in the feedlots and some signs of whether or not or how much heifer retention was taking place. With the uncertainty of when the federal government will open back up, we don't know now if we'll get those numbers a bit later or if we'll have to wait until the January inventory report. Taking a look at what's going on at the auction barns yesterday, or first we'll take a look at what we're expecting today. Ozarks Regional Stockyards in West Plains expecting 2,200 head. 4 state stockyards in Exeter expecting about 1,000 head. Lolly Brothers, they had 800 head on their early listings. Kingsville Livestock Auction, they're expecting to have about 2,500 head today. Yesterday around the state, Tyna Livestock Market had 664 head. Calves were mostly steady on a light test. A load of 860-pound steers brought 360 and a quarter. 47 head of 918-pound steers sold at 350.75. Both of those loads would have been a full $10 higher than the loads from last week. Callaway Livestock there in Kingdom C, 2,505 head. The market there was firm to higher. Some 5.5 to 600-pound steers called sharply higher. Some 4 to 6 weight heifers, $10 higher. Some stick-out sales there at Callaway included a load of 825-pound steers that brought 367.50, a load of 903-pound steers at 355 and a quarter, 58 head of 562-pound heifers tagged as thin sold at 418, and then another load of 620-pound heifers tagged as thin brought 394.75. Joplin Regional Stockyards, they had more than expected yesterday, ended up with 8,397 head. The steers there are called $5 to $20 higher. Heifers, 10 to 30 higher. A few stick-out sales from the barn there, which set some all-time record highs for the barn, included 183 head of steers weighing 820 pounds that sold at $393.50, and then 70 head of 726-pound steers that brought $411. The feeder steers in Joplin, medium and large ones of 4 to 5 weights sold at $440 to $510, 5 to 6 weights at $420 to $480, 6 to 7 weights at $392 to $440, 7 to 8 weights at $387 to $411, 8 to 9 weights $352 to $393.50, 900 to 1,000-pound steers at $338 to $359. The feeder heifers weighing 4 to 500 pounds, $405 to $470, 5 to 6 weights at $375 to $425, 6 to 7 weights at $360 to $405, 7 to 8 weight heifers at $348 to $366.5, 8 to 850-pound heifers at $334 to $344. Box beef cutout values at midday. Choice up 70 cents at $364.61. Select up 67 at $350.42. Those values based on 67 loads of cuts, trimmings, and grinds. The Choice Select spread at $14.19. Negotiated feedlot trade so far for the week. Still basically untested, about 900 head so far, mostly outside the 5-state feeding region. Kansas did report a couple hundred head, all at 236 live, but those were in the 65 to 80% choice level, so not reported in the highest grade there. Last week, live sales had a weighted average price of $234.11, which was up $3.32 for the week. Dress sales at $362.46, which was up $2.69 for the week. Taking a look at the futures markets at midday on the Mercantile Exchange. Live cattle for October 87 higher, 241.45. December 245.90 up 115. February 248.27 up 107. Feeder cattle for October up $4.07 at $379.57. November 380.70 up 397, and January at 377.80 up 407. Lean hogs for October down a nickel, 97.37. December 82.77 down 207. February 85.15 down 182. On the board of trade, December corn at 4.12 and a quarter, March at 4.28 and 3/4, May at 4.37 and a half. Those contracts 1 to 1.5 higher. Soybeans are 2 to 2.5 lower at midday. November at 10.05 and a half, January 10.22 and 3/4, and March at 10.37 and 3/4. Wheat contracts December $5 a half cent. March at 5.17, May at 5.28 and 3/4. Those contracts 3.5 to 3 3/4 cents higher. With the Missouri Department of Agriculture, that's your daily market report for Tuesday. This is Tony Hancock.